Albion Online's worst year was easily 2025, and I'm not just talking fiscally or financially. I'm talking player counts, I'm talking player fun and interaction. This was the no fun allowed year. There was so many nerfs. Yes, they added things like the depths, and they changed faction warfare around a little bit. But other than that, this is Albion's worst year. I'm going to spend the next hour and a half talking about it. Let's get into it. So, one of the cool things about being a YouTuber for games is that, well, you can kind of document the happenings and the patches and all of the changes. So, if you go back 2024 and, maybe 2-3 years before that, you'll know that the best fame farm in the game was doing blue zone static dungeons in tier 4 zones. That's for solo, guildless, and friendless players. Obviously, doing group stuff in the black zone would give you more fame, but not everyone has friends. Not everyone likes the risk. And, we had something to use our 8.4 gear for. For those that don't know, that weren't around in 2024 and before that, the best build for farming fame was getting a shadow collar, preferably with some lifesteal on it, full 8.4 gear, or 8.3 before, that patch, because again, 2024, 2023, I forget which year it was, but they introduced the 0.4 enchantment levels, and they also introduced the Awakening, which people hated. People still hate it. I still hate it. It's just power creep, alright? Power creep in an MMORPG basically means that they add content that makes, current content irrelevant or weaker, or, whatever. Anyway, you would take your Shadow Collar build, and I use Stalker Jacket because I could kill faster, but some people who didn't have specialization and who weren't so good at the game would use Hellion Jacket. You could also use things like Guardian Boots with the Giant ability. I personally used Cultist Sandals so I could kill faster, because, the faster you killed, the faster you farmed, right? With Crypt Candle, and then you could use, I used Cal of Purity, because they kind of changed and nerfed the Mage Cal, but Mage Cal was fine. You could also get away with using the Cultist Cal, but anyway, you also had to use the Pork Roast. But that was the best fame farm. You went to a tier 4 static zone, which no longer exists, by the way. The tier 4 statics are now tier 5 zones, like Sandgust Cleft. That was my favorite spot. You would go right here to this area, and this is now a tier 5 zone. It used to be an undead area, but you would go here. Oh, and yes, I am aware a tier 4 static does exist in Smooth Floor right here. But you would go to one of these, and you would grab a whole bunch of mobs at a time, and you would just AoE them down very, very quickly, get lots of fame. It was very consistent. You could do it any time of the day. It was completely safe. Unless, okay, I'll tell you what. I faction flagged for Bridgewatch, and I still do. And what would happen is sometimes Limhurst would come and bully you. And oh no, a 300k repair bill. Whoop-de-doo, right? But it was the best fame in the game, bar none. There was no way around it. And you could do this all day, every day. And because you could do this, you could literally level up all the weapon specializations you ever wanted. Like, I've never used Bridled Fury and, these other weapons. Like, I don't think I've ever used Claws once. You can go look through my kill log. I've never murdered a player with Claws. And why would you play Claws other than for PvP, right? But, yeah. You could just level up weapons willy-nilly as long as you had the time and the silver and the patience to do so. And it was a goal. It was a goal for most players to get the 8.4 Shadow Collar build up and operational. And that secured your Albion future. Well, what do I mean by Albion future? I mean that it meant that anytime that they released a new weapon or an update or change gear, that you would have a way to fame farm and level up anything in the game you wanted. If you joined a guild and they were like, hey, we need you on Bedrock Mace, you better have it at 100 spec by the weekend, Buster. Well, instead of, risking yourself in Black Zone dungeons for the entire weekend, you could just spend 1 to 2 hours, depending on if you had premium or not, in a Blue Zone static and be done. And then you didn't have to worry about it, and you can go have fun with the rest of the game. But for whatever random reason, Robin Hinkes, who was the former he's not CEO anymore, but he's the guy in all of their YouTube thumbnails that has he's got like he's making a fist and he's wrapping one of his hands around his fist. That guy, he's in all the Albion thumbnails for the official channel, right? I guess he or someone on his team decreed, you know what? Solo players, they're fame farming too fast. They're having too much fun. We can't have this in our game. It's 2025. It's time to bring them down. It's time to knock them down a peg. It's time to make them suffer. We need their money. We want them card swiping. And mean old Swole Benji here. Why am I mean? I don't know why they're saying mean old Swole Benji, but I just imagine the things they say in their little offices, right? And they are like, we can't have people following this YouTuber. You know, all these solo players are all doing this. We gotta ruin it. We gotta take it away from them. We're gonna snatch it away from them, like taking candy from a baby, like being in a Section 8 grocery store and the mom is buying cigarettes when the kid just wants a candy bar, and the mom says, no, you can't have your candy bar, and then she buys multiple packs of cigarettes. You ever see that in real life? I used to work in retail, and that was a thing I would see all the time, and I just felt so bad for the kid. It just made me angry at the parents. I'm like, come on! You know, back in the day, a candy bar was like 50 cents. I'm not even joking. They were literally 50 cents. And, hold on, I have a bunch of different islands I have to go to do my journals here real quick. But they would be really mean to their kid. And that's what Robin Hinkies is doing to us. We're his kids. We're his customers, really. But, we're adults. I would assume we're all adults here. It's okay if you're not. One day you'll be an adult and you'll be like, yes, I'm free from having to go to school and do stuff that my parents make me do. But anyway, your time will come. But Robin Hinkies was like, no, we're taking this away. Yoink, nerfed. You know how they nerfed it? If you're unaware how they nerfed it, they made it so they give way less fame. They give less fame than a solo mob. If you're killing a solo mob in a tier 4 blue zone, like just a regular skeleton that's just chilling in the desert sun, that skeleton gives you more fame than the one in the group static zone that has 10,000 HP and is glowing, blue or teal or whatever color they glow when they're enchanted. Why? Why does it give less fame? Oh, but Soul Benji, if you have a party of 3, it gives the same amount of fame to all 3 party members. So therefore, it gives more fame. No. It gives more fame if you're in a party of 3. Not everyone has friends. Not everyone's going to go into a Discord and suck on toes or join. Okay, let me tell you right now. I don't have a Reddit account. I don't have a Discord that's allowed in any Albion space. And yeah, I could change my IP and clear my cookies and cache, and I could make another, Discord account, and then I could go onto these Discords. And you know what? Everyone already has friends. Everyone already has a group of people. If I were to go around right now let's say I wasn't banned, and let's say I used a Swole Benji Discord name, and I ran around to different Discords, and I was like, hey, let's do some blue zone statics, let's kill some mobs. No one would want to. No one even wants to. It's not something people want to do. Alright? So, with that there, it's like, you're not going to find people to do this. So I don't know what the devs were smoking. I kind of hate that term. Why do they have to be on drugs or high? I don't know what the devs were drinking at the time to make this change. But effectively what they did was they took content that existed in the game that players enjoyed doing, and they just basically deleted it. They just said, nah, we don't want players doing this anymore. We just don't like players doing this. We don't like players. We don't like them. And they just nerfed it. It wasn't hurting anybody. It wasn't hurting the economy. It wasn't hurting the direction of the game. If anything, it helped player retention. So here's what happens in these games, right? There's always some corporate douchebag, some know-it-all, smelly nerd guy that he has to do something. He has to do something to change the game. Because if he's not making changes, then his leadership and his higher-ups and his bosses and the people that monitor his workflow will think that he's not doing anything. And so some guy was like, you know what, I watch Swole Benji because he's the only YouTuber that, it's the biggest YouTuber. I don't know why I'm an it now. But anyway, he's like, yeah, Swole Benji makes a lot of videos, and I'm sick of watching these videos of him doing static solo dungeons all the time, and I'm sick of all his followers doing them, so I'm just going to nerf it, and I'm going to tell the bigwigs this was a problem for the game, or what. I don't know what reason. I would love to read, the little work reports, little wagey report. Dear boss man, today I helped nerf the static dungeons. This will drive players into the black zone and make them join guilds. Smooches and kisses, Robin Hinkies, whatever, right? So, what? What am I even talking about, right? I'm talking about how this is in all work cultures, right? If something is not broken, don't fix it, okay? But people will do it because I need to make a difference. I need to make a change in the company. Or maybe, you know, because Stillfront, which is a company that owns Sandbox Interactive. Hold on, let me check my island here. Okay. Sorry, I gotta see what island I'm going to. They are like, we already sold the company for, what was it, $20 million? They sold Albion Online for like $20 million, right? Or no, $60 million. I think it was $60 million. It's been a while since they sold. But they're like, you know what? The game is sold. We're not really, you know, they're on vacation mode. They're on maintenance mode. They're not on, hey, let's make a passionate, cool game that we want to play and we'll, you know, grow our player count and make us famous. They're like, nah, we already made our bag. We already made our money. We don't have to make money anymore. Let's just make little piddly changes here and there once a year to keep Stillfront off our backs. And that's all we're going to do. And then once the game dies, we can all retire because we're probably on a contract that we have to continue working on the game until it dies. And since we're already millionaires, we want to go party and vacation and travel the world and buy yachts and, you know, buy houses and fancy cars or whatever people in Germany do. All right. And they're just twiddling their thumbs. They're like, hurry up, game. Hurry up and die. Hurry up and die. Huh, who's this YouTuber keeping the game alive? Swole Benji? What's he doing right now? Oh, he's doing static dungeons. We better nerf that. We better nerf it to the freaking ground so no one can ever do it again. And so that's what they did. They took that away from us. The players, they took it away. All right? And that was just the beginning. The start of 2025. The worst year for Albion, by the way. That's the title. And a lot of people quit. A lot of my people in my comments told me that they quit the game. They're not coming back. That would be like, okay, imagine you're playing World of Warcraft and you make a character specifically to mine iron or something really efficiently, right? And then they make it so, oh, you put in hundreds of hours, not even hundreds of hours, more like months to years of time to get to this level of efficiency. And then they just rip it out from under you, like, rip, gone. It's like they severed an arm, like they broke your leg, Mafia style, okay? Let's see, I'm going to, look at these island names. This island name is Let Me Sniff That Belly. Isn't that a fun name for a guild island? I think that's a fun name. Alright. This is Prospector Island here. Look at all this stuff I'm getting. But, so that was the first nerf of that was like the start of the year, right? And then you have a lot of uninformed people that don't read the patch notes, and they're still leveling their characters. They're still buying their 8.4 Shadow Callers, and they're just unaware. And I make videos, I tell people, hey, statics are nerfed, stop doing them. They don't work anymore, we'll figure something else out. And then, to this day, I still get comments that are like, I went to the static, and I'm not making nearly as much fame as you are, what's going on? And it's sad to see, you know, and I've told people time and time again, statics are nerfed, don't do them anymore, you can't do them, they're pointless. But not only that, they also made it for statics and anything group related. They made it so that if you are not in a party of 3, that the mobs regenerate HP at a very fast rate. They made it so that the mobs give less fame, of course. And they also made the mobs harder to kill. Like, what? I did a group, a group dungeon boss thing. I forget what they're called. It's like whenever you're running around the open world and you see like a little dungeon map like thing at a camp and you get to fight a boss. I did a group one. And it was in a tier 5 zone. And it was Arthos. And Arthos he's already got HP. Whenever he gets low in group dungeons before the nerfs, he has extra HP regeneration. That was like a thing that the boss had. Well now, because the devs don't play their own game, if you try to solo Arthos without a group of 3, he has HP regeneration anyway, but then he has double HP regeneration whenever you get him on low HP, and it's like, what the hell is this, right? This thing is really hard to kill. And because you're in a a dungeon. Dungeons aren't IP capped, so you can still technically kill Arthos, right? It's just really, really, really hard. Let's see. I'm looking at the next island to go to here. I have a little, like, text document that tells me what islands have what on them. Anyway, that was just the first of many, many nerfs, right? And the big one that came, and I'm happy this next nerf happened, and I'm not happy. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Unfortunately, for this one that's coming up that I'm going to talk about, also in 2025, the majority of people did not like. I personally like it, but I'm in the minority here. So that is item power soft capping. Now, here's the thing. I've been playing since, I played on and off from 2017. I came back in 2019, 2020, and I've been playing ever since, right? Back in the day, the blue and yellow zones had what are called item power soft caps. This means if you go out in your full 8.4 gear, your item power gets nerfed down to the point where you're not as strong as you normally would be. And at some point back in the day, I think 2020, it was like in 2020 or 2021, I forget when, they removed the item power soft caps. And then, of course, in 2024, 2023, they had the 0.4 nodes, and they have the Awakening, which we talked about already. But what ended up happening is that people doing faction warfare in the yellow zones, and blue zones, of course, would have fully awakened weapons, which are not something a solo guildless, friendless player can really achieve without a lot of luck or a lot of money and time. But these are people that are in guilds doing world bosses that can just pump these suckers up on a weekend. And you can never, ever beat them in a fight. Even in my full 8.4 gear, I can never take on someone who has a werewolf staff weapon that's fully awakened with defenses, HP, and lifesteal. It's an impossible fight. You cannot fight them. But it's not just a one-on-one situation. It's a 20-on-1 situation, right? One fully awakened 8.4 werewolf user can fight 20 players. And to me, that's like, well, that's cool for the werewolf user, and it's definitely something you could try to achieve on your own, right? But it's not something that people like to play a game with, right? It's like if you were to try to play Fortnite, and there's just one person killing the whole map, and they have so much HP and life regeneration, and they're so tanky that even 20 people shooting at the one player could not bring them down. And yes, if you had Whispering Bow also awakened with 8.4, and you were in that crowd of 20, you can maybe chase them away to the point where they will leave your little encampment alone, and you can do your little faction warfare dailies, right? So in their defense, I think the item power soft cap was, justified in that regard. And here's the thing, right? I don't suck at PvP. I'm a Diamond 1 Challenger League of Legends player. Well, in Season 2. I haven't played since Season 2, which was many, many years ago. But this game is essentially Dota. It's essentially League of Legends, just with an MMO twist, okay? I don't suck at the game. I just don't really do PvP because it takes hours to get fun footage. And the rewards just aren't worth... The juice is not worth the squeeze. That means if you have a fruit and you want to drink the juice from it, but it's such a rigid and hard thing to peel or squish into a cup, it's just not worth it. Just go to the store, buy you a carton of juice, and drink that instead. Don't waste time buying the actual fruit and doing it yourself, okay? And in Albion terms, I could just flip items and get silver. I don't need to go kill players to get silver because I'm not going to earn that much silver. And you're like, well, what about Juan? He's got 7 billion silver, blah, 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 blah. Oh, no. Juan is second place. Who is Love 76? Who is this guy? He's beating Juan by a lot. This is the new top guy. Who is this man? And he's using Mist Piercer? Oh, he's like a guild guy or something. No, that's a red zone. He's group ganking in a red zone. What the hell? I'm suspicious of that. That's weird for someone to just appear on the leaderboard like that. But anyway, okay, Love 76, you're the new example now for the videos. I'm sorry, Juan. I'm sorry. No king rules forever. But to me, it's not worth doing. Maybe to Juan it is, but you'll never see Juan doing journals like this. You'll never see him do flipping on the market. You'll never see him do a bunch of gathering. That's just not his style, I suppose, right? But Yeah, I could go PvP. I have a character that I actually PvP on. It's a Fire Staff character, and it does pretty well. But it only makes like 1 to 2 million silver per hour on good days. It's not consistent. It's not always there. It's also kind of a pain in the butt, depending on who you're fighting in the mists. And yes, I do it in the mists. And yes, I know people like Goldstein, they clean house, but, you know, not everyone can pull a Goldstein. You know how many times I've tried to make a Goldstein-style video? I have tried at least 20 different times, and it's just too much work. It's too hard. I'm not going to do it. Alright, his style is not really copyable. But, let's sell some cotton here. Let's sell some copper. And, yeah, see, I prefer to make money this way. Look at this. This is like almost 900k, right? I think. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention today. Ooh, we got a 0.4 node. Look at that. That's exciting. That's dopamine, right? That really triggers the neurons or whatever. Neurons activated. You know, when you look at a pretty image of something, you guys know the meme, you know, where the monkey is looking at like big hips or something, and it's like neurons activated. That's how I activate my neurons, is by selling goods on the market here. But yeah, here's the thing with the item power soft caps. Most people didn't have expendable, you know, silver. What happened was a player spent a whole freaking year getting their 8.4 set. Hey, look, the game master. The game is so down bad. Look at the chat. The game master is like, tell us what you think about Realm Divided. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. Yeah, let's click this. Let's see what this is about. Look at this survey. Look, what type of content do you primarily prefer? Economy. How do you feel about the Realm Divided in general? I strongly dislike it. How would you rate the new faction camps? I strongly dislike them. Additional thoughts on faction camps. I don't want to PvE in factions. I don't want to have to kill mobs and do stupid camps for barely any rewards. I know legendary chests are like 500k, but for a billionaire, that's nothing. Okay, there you go. How do you feel about the new faction chests? I strongly dislike them. Additional thoughts on faction chests. They aren't worth my time, really. I just want to farm faction points when doing factions and not items. This isn't a dungeon, okay? How do you feel about the new province system? I strongly dislike it. I hate how it's on dumb timers, and I don't want to play around them. How would you rate the faction fortresses and sieges? I strongly dislike them. Because of IP soft caps, PvP is just a slap fest, and I don't want to suck toes in a Discord listening to people count down from 5 like it's kindergarten to all push their skills at the same time. If I wanted to do that, I would play in the black zone. How do you feel about the new faction transport wagon? I actually like that. Alright. It's too expensive, make it cheaper. How do you feel about guild season length? I have no opinion because I don't know guilds. Guilds are for NPC sheeple. What would you like to see Albion in the future? Swole, Benji, unmuted, and partnered. Because he's going to leave you if you don't. I am Swole Benji, by the way. You can throw this in the ephemeral, what is it? The metaphorical trash can now. There you go, we did it. Alright, lads, we did the survey, okay. But yeah, so item power soft caps, right? Here's the thing. You're a guy, like, I just wanna pull this set out real quick and show you how expensive it is, okay? Let's see, where's the chest piece? I'm blind right now. I'm pretty damn blind, okay, guys? Chest piece. Booyah. Alright, there we go. We need the helmet next. And the cape. And the satchel. Oh, I'm wearing, well, let's just sort it. Where's the satchel? Come on, satchel. Here, satchel. Here, boy. Alright. I know there's a search. I'm gonna use it. I'll just satchel. There it is. All right, cool. 1, 2, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, everybody, 6, 7. Anyway, this set costs 243 million silver. And imagine you're a player and you worked really, really hard to get this set. And I know it can be cheaper because this is a masterpiece and you don't need masterpiece. But let's say 200 million. Let's just be fair. 200 million, right? You farm this and you finally get it. You don't even get the awakened version. You just get a normal shadow caller. And you start to go farm and it gets nerfed. And then the item power gets nerfed. Well, what are you going to do? Everything you're doing is getting nerfed. Everything that you put your blood, sweat, tears, money. A lot of people card swipe for this. Not a lot of people grinded manually for this. All right. Let's say you grinded out your specializations and everything, and then Sandbox Interactive is like, nah, we don't respect your time. Nerfed. Right. That's what happened. And so a lot of people are like, okay, I'm just gonna go play something else. That's what happened, and that's what's continuing to happen. And yeah, it's bad. It's bad for the game. You hate to see it. I hate to see it. I think it's silly. I think it's dumb. And now we did our laborers. Now we're going to do some farming. Oh boy, farming, all right? And you may be thinking, Soul Benji, why are you farming? You're clearly not watering the crops with your focus. And no, I'm not. What is my focus at? 24K. I am not watering crops with my focus. No, no, no. But I have a way to make this profitable anyway, okay? And I'm just mass leveling right now. I leveled up pumpkins, which is damn expensive. I've got wheat done. I've got potatoes done. I'm getting corn out of the way. And I might have time with 16 days remaining of premium to also get cabbages done. Maybe. Right? I don't know yet. But we'll see. And, yeah, our pumpkin level is 99. We're going to hit level 100 pumpkins here. Look at that. We're so close, boyos. And yes, I am pumping learning points. I have put a year's worth of learning points into just getting these crop growings out of the way so they're done. Alright? Yeah, it took a year to get this many learning points. I'm not card swiping. If I were to... Look, this is another thing that people hate. Is the pay to win. And yes, this is pay to win. Shut up. You're stupid if you disagree with me here. If you can spend real money on a currency that you can then transform into in-game currency, that you can then buy things to level up or be stronger with, that is winning. That is paying to win. But they also introduced this year, and everyone knew this was coming, learning points. You can pay money for learning points. Look at this. Like when I started a month ago, for my month challenge, which is now members only because no one watched it. Sorry. The info was just a little too good. I had around 4,000 learning points. If I make 10 a day, that would take 400 days of playing. You have to log into the game and do your damn Adventurers Challenge daily. You have to do this slop, which only takes about a minute of playing, right? You have to do that 400 times, and it takes 400 real-life days to get 4,000 learning points, which I have blown. This is what I've blown them all. I have 700 left, okay? I have blown it all on crop growing here. I got potatoes maxed out and wheat, and now I'm going to max out pumpkin farming and maybe eventually max out corn farming, but not with only 700 points, right? That's, you know how much money that costs if I just want to expedite that? $50. Pay up $50. That's the price of a video game. That is a Steam release. That is the price of Ashes of Creation right now, which I'm going to be checking out here shortly, soon, maybe today, if I can stop being lazy. But $50. 50 bazongas. Okay, that's a lot of money. For most people, it's a lot of money. For you, maybe not. Mr. I'm rich and make, $1 every minute of my life with my 5 businesses, blah, 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 right? But that's a lot of money for people, okay? But they made it so that basically, as long as you have enough real-life money and you're willing to dump it into the game, you can just be the best crafter. You can level up everything super fast. It's very unfair for those of us that have played the game a long time. For those of us that aren't wealthy in the real world, there we go. Pumpkin Farmer Mastery achieved. We did it, boyos. But it's another pay to win. It's blatant pay to win. I remember back in the day, they were like, yeah, we have no plans to make learning points, buyable. And if, well, they did. And if they're willing to make learning points buyable, what else are they going to charge next? In the future, let's say the game, this game's probably going to be around forever, right? in the future, you can probably just pay money. You can just card swipe to like max out something. You don't even need to go through actually doing it. If you want to be a master pumpkin farmer, $20. Screw it. Pay $20, level up a node to 100. Why not? You already let us buy everything else. You might as well just skip the bullshit and just let us buy level 100 nodes. I bet there's a person out there that it's like, I don't want to play the game, and they would just be like, boom, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, and they're gonna go and do this for all. And they're like, it's only $50,000. It's only right. It's only $50,000. And, there's people that spend more money than that on other games. There's a game that came out recently called Where Winds Meet. A lot of you are bugging me to play Where Winds Meet. I'll get around to it eventually, okay? I know it's China slot, but I'm still going to finagle with it and see if it's any fun or any good. I know it's very similar to Arcade, and so is Ashes. I'm going to be trying that out as well, because Arcade was the best MMO before all the pay-to-win slot ruined it. That's how that game died. That game died because of pay-to-win. And Albion is pay to win. It's not dead somehow for some reason, but it's definitely dying. Anytime someone says the market is crashing in chat, I always check the gold. It's no, it's not crashing, bro. What are you on about? But anyway, maybe the real life market is crashing, which I don't have stocks. I don't have money. I don't have real life money for that stuff. Let it crash. Let the real life market crash. Maybe then I could finally invest. And when it goes back up, if it goes back up, I can maybe make some money. But knowing my luck, I would put all my money, my savings, what I use to pay for food and bills, into the market, and then it just never recovers, and then I'm just broke forever, right? So I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it, whatever. Anyway, Arcade, really good game, had a lot of cool systems. You could play instruments in the game, and you could, like actual music. I don't mean like push A for doing and push D for boing. I mean, you could, play actual musical notes, all of them, and actually play songs that people recognize or whatever, right? Like, da-da-da-da-dun, da-da-dun-dun, da-da-dun-dun, dun. Like, you could play that in the game, and people could hear it, and that's neat, right? And not like a preset. You could literally make it any sound you wanted. I don't know how it worked, because I never did it back in the day. I just PvP'd, really. That's all I did in Arcade was PvP. But I know totally different context of what I do in Albion, but that's just how it is. The PvP was actually fun, right? It was actually really, really fun. Anyway, it definitely games that I'm going to try out later, but not right now. I'm busy doing other stuff. But anyway, back to the topic of the video, which is Albion's worst year in 2025. This is the worst year, all right? Absolute terrible. All right, we ran out of corn seeds. We're going to buy more corn. Look at that, 10 million. Boom! Down the hatch. Bought 400 corn seeds. Uh-oh. But yeah, we got a lot of farming to do, so we got a lot of yapping to do. We got like a whole hour of yapping left, guys. So yeah, 2025. So another thing, too, that happened is in the content creation space, which I know a lot of you don't care about, but it does affect the game very negatively. And I don't have proof of this or sources, but apparently, Twitch did a thing to make AFK bots, or the people that AFK, on Twitch streams to get skins. They made it so they're worth way less money. Now, there's a YouTuber named Mogdun, who was the one Albion YouTuber that I was betting on that would actually make it, and he didn't. I mean, he did real life stuff instead, so I guess he kind of made it, but I was betting, oh yeah, this is the one YouTuber that can go play other games. This is the one guy in the entire Albion space that can escape Albion and make videos and stuff, who won't crash out, who won't mass delete his channel. And well, my bets are wrong. He mass deleted everything. He deleted it all, bro. When a YouTube creator deletes all of their guides, it means that they hate the community, all right? It does not hurt. Look, I'm a YouTuber. I know how YouTube works. It does not hurt a channel to leave up old guides. It does not. It doesn't, all right? And but you have these people, they think they have this weird strategy because one guy said it and he sounded really smart, so they all do it. They think that they have to prune videos, they have to delete videos, they have to remove content. Right? And it's like, look, I get it. People in the Albion space, when you make videos on other subjects, all they want to talk about is Albion. They will try to shoehorn Albion into anything. You can make a cooking video, and they're like, "Oh, this is Albion. How is this Albion related?" It's like, no, it's a totally separate thing, right? Like, I could make a mountain hiking video. I don't live near mountains, but if I did, and I went hiking on them and recorded it for you guys, then somehow, somewhere, someone would be like, "Ugh, when's the next Albion video?" Blah, blah, blah. You'd have like 100 comments that would mention Albion, right? And yeah, that's annoying, sure, for a creator. Who cares? Who cares if it's annoying? I don't care if it's annoying, right? You know. But anyway, what I'm getting at is that this gets to some people. This gets under their skin. It's very agitating, right? But you know, in every single YouTube space, I know people are maybe shocked by creators mass deleting their whole channel, like what Mogdun did. But this happens in every game. All right, there was another game. Or another a big YouTuber, bigger than me YouTuber named Damone Kim, and he was the number 2 on New World. Like, out of all the creators that made videos, he was ranked number 2. The guy that was ranked number 1 was named Video Game Databank, who changed his name to Kibbles Gaming. I still keep up with him sometimes. And I was number 4 on when New World came out. I was the 4th biggest YouTuber for New World. And Damone Kim, you know, he made guides, whatever, and he knew all the YouTube stuff, the SEO stuff, the search stuff. And, you know, he eventually went to other games. He went to Genshin, and his channel grew when he did Genshin, because Genshin is China slop. It's also very popular with 30 million people or whatever. So, you know, he played popular game, he get popular views. Also, you know, something that you learn as a content creator is that certain games will give you way more views because the companies and the advertisers around those games want those videos to be popping off. Because, like, say a bunch of people make videos for a game, and the videos get no views. It looks bad for the company. So the company tends to boost algorithmically, but also, like, just in searches and advertising of videos. And so his channel was popping, and then he swaps to a game called PAX Day, which was a scam game. It was an absolute terrible shitter game. It was an asset flip game. It was a garbage game, right? But it was an MMO, and Damone Kim, he really, really liked PAX Day. He also got into the bed sheets of the devs to become one of their official content creators. And he went all in, all chips on black, all in on PAX Day. Well, the game was a complete utter flop. People hated the game. The game was garbage and didn't update. The game was basically, they lied to people. They lied to their audience. They were like, yeah, you can pay $100 and have 4 plots. And then later, like, no, we're going to make it subscription-based. And then they made it where when the game officially launched, they took all of that perks away. And, yeah, people got refunds. I got a damn refund. I didn't pay for it. Someone else paid for it. And, yeah. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But Damone Kim, feeling the burn of, you know, going all in on PAX Day, decided he's just going to delete his entire channel, and he's going to be a self-improvement help guru guy now. And that's fine. It's fine if someone wants to, you know, change, you know, gears. I thought for forever now, I have actually thought that I could take this channel that you're watching right now and turn it into a fitness channel. I could do 0 to hero. That's been a video idea for the longest time. 0 to hero, but in real life in the gym. Because all these fitness channels, let's see, what island am I on? Okay, hold on, I'm doing islands real quick. All right, there we go. Go to this island. I could do a 0 to hero challenge, and well, it's kind of hard to be 0 to hero if you already have been doing gym stuff forever. But to do 0 to hero in the gym, you would have to intentionally lose a bunch of muscle mass by not lifting, and intentionally overeat and get obese. And when you get really, really fat and you have no muscle, and then show everyone, here's what you got to do to lose weight and get a bunch of muscle. And it's not hard, you just got to do it. It's a real life grind. Like, instead of grinding Albion every day, you just go to the gym as often as you mentally can. Like, oh, my body hurts today. Well, either power through it or it seriously hurts, so you got to rest up. You got to, like, that's your grind. Your grind is eating protein and laying in bed and letting your body recover, right? And I thought about, well, what if I did a series where I just got really fat and weak, and then I just went to the gym and recorded my daily progress and showed everyone, yeah, you just do these exercises and you eat this food, And you know how I min-max things in my videos, like, I make sure that everyone has the best possible way to do things. That's what I would do with the gym videos. But when I looked at the space, when I looked at the fitness space, it's the same problem. It's all the fitness gurus are all bought out by these companies, and they all parrot the wrong thing. Like, scientifically, if you are in the fitness, you know, anything fitness, you have heard the phrase, you need to eat 1 gram of protein per 1 gram of body weight. And you may have also heard the slightly more correct version, you need to eat 1 gram of protein per 1 gram of lean body mass. Which means you take your body fat percent and your weight and you do the math, and then you do that. But those are both wrong. Those are both scientifically proven wrong by multiple studies and multiple government agencies that have done multiple tests. All right, and I actually have a fitness video that I put out early in 2025 that explains all this. I'm not going to explain it here because people won't believe me anyway. They have heard all of Reddit and all of the fitness forums that they go to, and all of their favorite fitness YouTubers all say the same bullshit, which is you need 1 gram of protein per 1 gram of muscle. No, you don't. All that's going to do is give you kidney stones. You're overeating. You're alkalizing your pee, your blood, whatever. It's not something you need to do. You can literally get away with, like, for most normies, unless you're like 6'4" alpha Chad, okay? You can get away with like 57 to 60 grams of protein a day, which is like a can of chicken breast or like 3 cans of tuna, all right? Stuff like that. You don't need a lot of protein. You don't. But that's a whole different topic for a whole nother video. But also for content creation, all right? That's what we were talking about for the year of 2025. There was a major shift in the player base, all right? And that shift is that English-speaking American or otherwise players that speak English and do not speak Portuguese or Spanish or Russian or other Eastern European languages are in the minority. They are such in the minority that people aren't bothering with the game. Like, new players that only speak English that start this game on the Western server or on the European server or even on the Asian server for some reason. Maybe they live in Singapore or whatever. They quickly find out that they don't have people to talk to, that the majority of the people speaking in the game don't speak their own language, and so they abandon the game. And I know that people are like, you should just learn Spanish. You should just learn Portuguese. It's not hard. I do it, and you know, blah, blah. You did it because you were raised to do it. You were raised on Spanish, and you learned English. All right? I was raised on English, and I was forced to take Spanish, and I learned nothing. Not everyone can learn as good as you can, Buster. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that the language gap is scaring people away from the game to the point, and I see the numbers. Again, I'm a YouTuber. I can see the numbers. The English-speaking community in this game is so down bad that it is completely outnumbered, and it's really hurting the game's growth, okay? And here's the funny thing. Just a few days ago, as of this recording, Stillfront, the company that owns this game, announced a new CFO. I don't know what CFO means. I know it's like right below CEO, which is Chief Executive Officer, which is like the biggest of bigwigs in a company, right? So CFO is maybe Chief Financial Officer? I don't know. I don't know what CFO means. You can tell me in the comments, and I'll forget a year later what CFO is, and anyway. What I'm trying to get at is that, hold on, I need to bank. I have 91% carry weight here. Yeah, let's go bank real quick. We were on Tummy Lickers Island. All right, I have a list. We have a lot more islands to go to, like at least 10 more, I think. Yeah, it's like 10 more. But, yeah, plenty of yapping to continue here. All right. So anyway, the CFO announced they're going to be pushing Stillfront's games, which includes Albion, into the Western North American English market. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Look at all this food. Look at all this freaking food. It's like, yeah, that's nice. That's really, really neat. That's cool. Cool, right? Awesome. Except it's too late for Albion. It's too late. Everyone that touches this game, they see it as like the Brazilians took over. And while it's not Brazil, that's just the mentality of MMORPG gamers, right? like whenever you go to play another free-to-play MMO, and it's just completely flooded with people that say hew, 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 or ja, 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 people uninstall. That is an uninstall moment, and I hate that that's the case. It's not out of prejudice or hatred or anything. It's simply out of, well, this game isn't for me. I'm going to go play something where there's people I can speak to. So what they do instead is they go and they play Final Fantasy XIV, and then they start taking hormone pills or whatever they take, and then they become a woman, right? Allegedly. And that's why I stay away from those games. But what I'm trying to say is that the language gap is scaring away people. To the point, again, I can see all the numbers of the game, to the point now where the only reason to be a content creator for this game, be it on Twitch or YouTube, is if you speak Spanish and or Portuguese and or Ukrainian or Russian, which is basically the same language, I'm pretty sure. There might be slight differences, okay? If you are not a multilingual creator, this space is dead. It is doomed, all right? You cannot, and it's not about being number one, okay? Congrats, Jack Faya, for speaking whatever language you speak, okay? But it's not about being number one. It's about making enough money to be worth the time. So, Mogdun, in his video, we're talking about Mogdun still, he showed, I don't know how true it is, but he showed in one stream on Twitch in early June of 2024, he made like $4,400. I'm going to assume that this is cherry-picked because that's a lot of freaking money to be streaming Albion. And then he shows, allegedly, in the first 6 months of 2025, he made less money in 6 months, which means his pay dropped by like 6 times as much. I don't know the math on that. I'm not going to bother asking an AI, but to lose 6 times the amount of money means, why would you bother? Why would you even bother, right? Now, for me, Albion has always been a low-paying game on YouTube, and I don't do it for the money. I have never made Albion videos for the money. My entire purpose of the channel was, well, one, to leave something behind before I died, so that anyone who gave a shit about me in life could hear my voice and my experiences. Secondly, one thing that I got upset with growing up was when I put a lot of effort and time into a video game, getting good at it and learning the game, and then I would quit playing that game for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, however many years, and then I wanted to come back and play that game again. I forgot how to play it. And I always use this example, Age of Empires 2. Back in the day, I was a professional Age of Empires 2 player. I went to tournaments. I was a really, really good player in Age of Empires 2. I had very high elo on a game service called the MSN Gaming Zone. This is from the 90s, okay? And yes, I was I wasn't the best, but I was in maybe top 300, top 500, right? Like, if you open this list, you see how, like, in Albion, I'm ranked 57,000 on PvP. Oh, that's total fame. Never mind. Oh, wait, Juan's still number 1 on PvP fame. My bad, Juan. I had total fame, all right? That other guy's a PvE dork. You're the PvP guy, right? But for PvP, look at my rank in PvP. I'm at rank 104,000. Whoop-de-doo, right? Who cares? But, in Age of Empires 2, I was like top 500. Ooh, yeah. All right, and I don't mean, oh, it was 500. I was probably like 250 to 350, somewhere around there, you know. Nothing too crazy. But essentially, I could kick everyone's ass that played the game on forum boards, on Ventrilo calls, on, what is that text program? I forget the text program. It was like a text program everyone used. I don't remember the name. But anyway, yeah, the majority of people that I came up against, I would absolutely body them at this game. And I put a lot of hours into it. I put a lot of effort into getting good. I had a bunch of little text documents with build orders and what to do. And I invented my own build orders, and people copied and refined it. And the game grew from there, right? And of course, I moved on and I played other games. For years, I played StarCraft and Diablo 2. I played, eventually, World of Warcraft and yada, yada, yada. And then at some point, you know, Age of Empires 2 made a resurgence. It came out on Steam. It was Age of Empires 2 remastered, blah, 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 right? If I jump into Age of Empires 2 now, in 2025, 2026 if you're watching this in 2026, and I play a match as a newbie with 1,200 elo, I will get absolutely stomped into the ground with no possible way of winning, with strategies that are beyond my comprehension and beyond my mechanical ability. And how could this be? How can this be? If I was such a good player back in the day, how am I such a bad player now? And that is time. As time moves and goes on, and you know, people, you know, fill their brains with other video games, you get worse at video games. If you aren't consistently practicing a video game, you lose your ability to play it mostly. You retain a lot of it, but you don't retain all of it, okay? So, when I play Age of Empires 2, I don't remember my build orders. I don't remember, you know, the order of doing things. I don't remember all the mechanical things that I just picked up on from playing, you know, my life away at the game. And the reason I don't retain any of this is because all I have are a few text documents, which are lost to time. I don't even have the text documents anymore. But I don't have any videos of what I did. I don't have anything speaking to myself of what I did. And so the second reason I made the YouTube is to retain some of the knowledge that I have gained through the hours spent playing a game. So if you look through my channel, I have like a 7-hour guide of Final Fantasy Tactics. That's a game from the 90s, okay? Now, that's a single-player game, so it's not really skill-based, it's knowledge-based. I retained all of that knowledge because that was one of the first ever games that I really min-maxed in my life. That was like one of the first games I had to have statistically the best everything, okay? That's where it all began, Final Fantasy Tactics. And so I released a 7-hour video showing the world exactly how to really absolutely bend that game over backwards and completely break it. All the secrets revealed. Every single one, the entire game, full game guide, right? In one video. Well, I have I technically have over 1,000 Albion videos. Some of them are shorts, so I don't have 1,000 long-form videos. Not yet. I'm about 50 away from that. But if I were to ever quit Albion for 10 years, yeah, a lot of it's going to change. Games are ever changing, right? But a lot of it will still be retained. Like how to make money, how to level up, where to go, how gathering works, why save zone is nice, why black zone is bad. And again, the game could change a lot since then, okay? But what I'm getting at is that the YouTube channel it's not money. For Mogdun, it was money. That's why he deleted his guides. He doesn't give a shit. Like, I monitor a lot of Albion channels, and I was monitoring his long before he deleted his videos. And essentially, his videos were in purgatory, which means they're not getting viewed anymore. They're not being shown. They're not showing up on search. They're not getting recommended in the algorithm. And it's not his fault. That's just not knowing how the YouTube algorithm works. Now, I have videos from years ago that still get recommended, they still show up in search, and they still are getting viewed to this day by the hundreds. If you go to a stats page and you look at my YouTube, or let's say this, if you go to my YouTube page and you look at my recent uploads, I will do this right now. You're going to notice some low-ass numbers, some real low numbers. Hey, my In-N-Out burger hit almost 2,000.
And so let's go
That's
over
me.
the good ones.
That's an
Cyber Runner's nice.
Give me a sec. That was from a Cyberpunk video. Anyway, so I put out a video, no description, no thumbnail for Albion, called How to Study Items Efficiently. It's sat at 1,200 views for the past 2 days. It got up to 1,200 views. Because there's no thumbnail, it's not getting clicked on much. People don't really care about studying items in Albion anyway. So it's a very low effort. Again, low effort slop video. I'm going to call it a slop video, right? Let's buy 459 more seeds. All right. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is that if you look at my recent videos, okay, 3.2 thousand views on the Quick Faction Daily. These are all very low numbers, all right? Why aren't Americans playing Albion? 4.7k views. People will look at me and be like, your channel sucks, Swole Benji. E-Court's getting 10 to 20,000 views a video. Blah, you're not a good YouTuber. You're a slop tuber. You're bad at your job. You aren't getting many views, all right? But you go to a website, and I'm going to go now to viewstats.com, which is Mr. Beast's tool for YouTube. And I go to Swole Benji, all right? And again, I'm not showing this on screen. I can't really be bothered. This shows that I have 463,000 long-form views in the last 28 days. And if you count every single uploaded video recently and add up all of those numbers, it won't come out to 463,000. It absolutely won't even come close to that. And you may be wondering, well, where the hell are the views going? How are you getting that many views? And the answer is simple. It's from older videos, right? And a lot of YouTubers don't have this privilege. They don't have this ability, right? So right now, if I go to my top viewed videos currently in the last 2 days, my top video is Diablo 4. That's right. A Diablo 4 video that I made in 2023 is my top viewed video in the past 2 days. Why? Because people are playing Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is an alive game that has an active player base, and I made a very useful video on that game on how to do a puzzle. Alright, what do you do in a game when there's a puzzle? Alright, hold on, let me switch islands here. There we go. You look up the solution to the puzzle, and guess what? Guess whose solution is on top? Mine. Alright, next up is a Baldur's Gate 3 video. From over a year ago, it'll be 2 years. Alright, now we're on corn. We were doing pumpkin, now we're on corn. Hell yeah, look at all these corn levels. We're gonna get some seeds back. I might have overbought on seeds, but that's fine, I'll use them. Alright, Baldur's Gate 3 from nearly 2 years ago is getting more views than almost all of my Albion videos right now, okay? Next up is Arc Raiders. That's a game that is currently popping off. More Arc Raiders. Final Fantasy Tactics. I want to show you something. Hold on. Final Fantasy Tactics Steam. Let's just go to the Steam page real quick. And I'm going to have to pause. Okay, don't autoplay for me. Let's see. Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evilise Chronicles. Currently, okay, the not views, but the player count went up a bit. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm showing here, or what I'm talking about. Right here. There is only 1,000 people playing Final Fantasy Tactics. Only 1,000 people. Okay? That's it. Alright? If I go to Albion's page on Steam, there's way more people playing Albion right now, right? So tell me why one video on Final Fantasy Tactics is getting more views in the past 2 days than all of my Albion videos, huh? And that's because Albion, this is the whole point of the video here, is the worst year in 2025. Albion Online is not getting new players. It has not been getting new players for most of the year. And we're going to be talking more about this topic too, right? But continuing with the YouTube slop here, let's see. All right, so I scroll way down here. I'm scrolling way down right now, okay? Hold on. We're scrolling. Okay, finally, I found an Albion video that's getting viewed right now. And this one is how to fame farm. All right, it's not even the best fame farm. It's the second best fame farm. That's currently getting launched. I put this out about 16 days ago. That means the video is 2 weeks old. All right, and then after that is the best possible start. Oh, and now we have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Outer Worlds 2, World of Warcraft, Baldur's Gate, Arc Raiders, and a bunch of other games. Oh, hey, Hogwarts Legacy is starting to get views. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hogwarts Legacy is free on Epic until the 18th. Hey, guess what? I made a bunch of Hogwarts Legacy videos back in 2023. That's almost 3 years ago. It's basically 3 years ago if you count it as 2026, okay? 3 years ago, a single-player game is getting more views than Albion videos, all right? And then I have Albion videos from 2024, 2023, getting more views than the current stuff on my page, right? But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that if I'm doing pretty well here, how are other channels doing? Well, eCord is usually heralded as the top YouTuber man for Albion. He's only getting about 130,000 long-form views according to view stats. How about Coco, right? He used to be, SBI's favorite little pet, and I'm pretty sure he fell off, but let's see what he's doing. He is getting 222,000 views. All right, so he's beating eCord, right? And pretty funny thumbnails. I'll give him that. He's got funny thumbnails. But how about someone that's multilingual, like Jack Faya? Jack Faya, I don't know what language he speaks. he is getting 535,000 long-form views. And his country is Estonia? What is country? Country ES. What does that mean? Spain. Okay, he's from Spain. There we go. Yeah, anyway, so I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Spain. So he's got that entire audience. And yeah, that's just how it is now. But that, and again, you could be like, well, the game isn't dying. It's just moving in a different direction. No, it's dying. Because new players aren't coming back to the game. And that's the next topic that we're going to be talking about. One way that you can monitor new players entering Albion is the amount of advertising that is being dumped into the game. When you look at, if you go to Google, you can Google how to search up Google ads. And you could then search Albion, Stillfront, Sandbox Interactive. You can search all these things and see where are ads playing on Google and around websites, on YouTube, etc. They are not advertising in Western Europe. They are not advertising in North America, Canada, Australia. They are advertising in China, Spain, Portugal, Sweden. They are Singapore, China. Did I say China already? I think China was the main one. They are mainly advertising in China, okay? But also Mexico and Argentina, Brazil, most of South America, most of South Africa. Not North Africa, but South Africa. They're just like going everywhere but America. And I can tell you partially why. The reason why is that the American player base is mostly absorbed into Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, Arc Raiders, Battlefield, and Call of Duty. That is just the truth. All right? Unfortunately, that's just Americans want to play shooting games because Americans love shooting guns, I guess. I don't know. I've never really... I've technically shot in a gun, but not like a fully automatic, like, assault rifle or anything. I would like to, but I'm a pretty sketchy guy, and the local shooting ranges don't want me there, so that's just unfortunate. But anyway, what I'm getting at is that English speakers aren't coming into the game. They are advertising on all these other countries, but even on Asia, even on the European server, new players aren't joining. It's not just English speakers. It's all new players, regardless of what language they speak. And I can see this, and I know this because I can see the YouTube numbers for one, but also I can see the economy and market numbers in the game. When there is a large amount of new players, the price of rough stone goes down. The price of newbie goods goes up. The price that newbies tend to put into the markets also goes down due to oversaturation. This is not the case, it has not been the case the entire year of 2025. This is the first ever year that Albion Online has been at a net negative of new players. Now, if you look at Steam charts, if you look at player counts, otherwise, you'll notice that the player count has been stable. And that's fine. Yes, Albion Online has had a stable player count. It is a stable player count of veteran players, players like you and me that have been playing for a long time, players that we make this our daily game. I log in, I do my farm work, I do a little bit of fame farming, maybe I go PvP a little bit, and then after a few hours, I go play something else. You know, a lot of people, they log in, they do their call to arms, their CTA as it's called, for their guild, and then they log out and play something else. I have been in a top 10 guild. I have been in a literal top 10 guild. And the way it worked is everyone logged in at the designated time. They ran around the black zone doing the call to arms. Afterwards, we all went to go play Call of Duty. We all went to go play other games. We didn't stay on Albion and continue playing the rest of the day. We logged in, we did what needed to be done, and then we went and played something else. And you will notice this is how Albion is played, because it has a big peak of like 10k on Steam and a small drop of like 5k. So it's losing half of its player base to other games every single day. But because the game is not growing, and eventually all players quit, all players die, the goal of all life is death, that is the truth of the world. Because there aren't new players coming into the game, hold on, is this the right island? We go to Cringendary into Elliot Roger. Yes, that's right. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're on the right track. Also, I didn't notice, but I did 150 crops, so that's a focus potion and some community tokens. Completely useless because I have all the skins already, whatever. But Anyway, like this guy, the legit player said, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, y'all. This guy's probably quitting. He's probably leaving forever. You'll never see the legit player ever again, possibly. That or he's just saying goodbye. I don't know. Who knows? I just happened to look at chat for a second. But anyway, new players are not coming into the game, and SBI, or really it's Stillfront, is dumping a large amount of money into the game. If you look through my Albion videos, I warned you in, what is it, like June, July? I think I started warning people around June or July that they were going to be dumping a large amount of money into advertising. And if you remember, if you aren't, Zoomer brained and have already forgotten, there was hundreds of thousands of dollars were dumped into advertising earlier this year for an event called the Crucible. Another stain on why this is the worst year for the game in 2025. And the Crucible was a bunch of very prominent, popular, and famous Twitch streamers were paid really large amounts of money, upwards of $10 to $50 to $100,000 allegedly. I don't know the amount because none of them will tell me. But I know some of the smaller ones have told me that they were being paid $1,336 from SBI, or from Lurkit rather, a day to stream the game. And these are people that only have like 50,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, that aren't even really Twitch streamers, that get maybe like 100,000 views a month. So basically the size of eQuart. People the size of eQuart or smaller were getting paid over $1,300 a day to stream this game. Now imagine being one of the big streamers, the really big ones. You know the ones that were in the Crucible, right? Those guys were getting paid probably 10 times more. I know that the going rate for Asmongold to play your game, it used to be years ago, $30,000 for 1 hour or something. They had this one girl that played, like, she gets paid, I don't think she takes the game for under 10K. She's got red hair, I forget her damn name, but every game she plays, the game freaking dies. Annie Fuchiza, I'm messing up her name, but they had her play this game, right? They paid her to play this game, but then the very next day, she goes right back to RuneScape, or right back to World of Warcraft. They had Quinn and Zizarin and all these other big people play the game. Go look at their YouTube channels. Go look at their Twitch. Go look at their community. Go into their Discord. Look at their community. Every single one of their communities, every single one of these streamers, every single one of them, they're not here playing the game. They moved on. They didn't stick around. They got the bag, they got the money, and they bolted. Look at Soda Poppin', who either drunkenly or while he was high made a deal, or maybe his team made a deal. I don't know the full deets. I don't really care about the deets. But the dude was so distraught with this state of this game that he said no, he's not going to do it. He doesn't care if he signed. He'll deal with the contract. He absolutely downright refused to play this because he knew there was nothing to gain from it. Look at the numbers of Quinn and Zarin and all these other big streamers in the Crucible that participated. Even the smaller guys that participated, right? None of their audiences grew. They lost so much ad revenue money and sponsorship money playing this that SBI and Lurkit and Stillfront had to just pay them raw money to do what they did. And look at the state of the game before and after. Zero change. The game did not earn more players. The game did not get new players. People watched them play, but I kept, like, a few people, yeah. Some people made new characters to follow their streamer around on the screen and do some PvP. And as soon as the streamers left, so did all of those accounts. So did all of those players, okay? And, maybe one or two stuck around. Sure, maybe. One or two is nothing, right? The thing is, they dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into this. And none of the creators gave a shit. None of the creators embraced the game. A lot of the creators showed just how stupid they were with the game mechanics. Like, a lot of people think Quinn's really smart and good at games. No. Watch him play Albion. He was a doofus, idiot. Totally dumb. And here's the thing, right? At this point, I also learned just how deep the rabbit hole goes. These guys aren't even really gamers. Quinn's not even really a gamer. He's a corporate figurehead, and his YouTube channel, and his Discord, and his Twitch channel, and his Twitter are all managed by people that aren't even him. He is just a face for a brand that generates money with a whole company of people and wages behind him, allegedly. And, yeah, it's a complete facade. These aren't real gamers that are passionate about Albion. These aren't real people wanting to play a PvP MOBA MMO. They aren't. They were simply businessmen and women that came into the game, got paid a bunch of money to promote it to no one that was interested, and there was no benefit to the game, the company, or anyone except the streamers. The only one that benefited was the streamers. That's it. That's it. No one else benefited. They took the bag, they made their money, and they're out. I also just forgot what island. Oh, I was on Elliot Island. Okay, now we go to the island of Virgin Incel, which was the name of my priest in World of Warcraft that dispelled the enemy team. Very fun name to get dispelled by, don't you agree? So yeah, the Crucible was a horrible waste of time and money, and the game did not benefit at all. A massive stain on this game. And let me tell you right now, Albion Online is so unpopular that all the drama channels, all the bigwig channels, if this game were Call of Duty, if this game were anything popular like Fortnite or Roblox, and something similar happened in those games, it would be all over the news cycle. It would be on every website. You'd see tweets about it. You would see YouTubers yapping all over the place about how such a failure it was. And actual journalists would dig deep into the trenches, find out exactly how much money was wasted. There would be legal cases going on to, disclose just how much of a failure this event was. But because Albion is a Kickstarter, game that is pretty niche, and not a lot of people play it, and it's not very popular on the searches, it's just not a well-known game, it flew under the news cycle. Because no one gives a shit. No one cares, right? It's kind of like when there's big, giant, like back in the day in EVE Online, when there was massive battles and like $17,000 worth of stuff got trashed, people cared. But in Albion, when there's a massive CTA and full 8.3 and 8.4 sets from hundreds of players all get trashed, no one gives a damn at all. Also, I didn't mean to grab the corn seed window there. But, what I'm getting at is that it was a complete net negative. The company spent so much money for nothing. And if anything, Zazaren's audience, and Quinn's audience, and Anita Fuchi's audience, and all of their audiences, they don't like the game. They got to see the game. They got to see basically everything of the game without discovering it for themselves. What is this? Hey, everyone, you might have noticed the marketplace is not loading. The dev team is aware and looking into the issue. What? I have hundreds of flips right now. Why is the marketplace not loading? Someone DDoSed it probably, right? Oh man, no one could buy, no one could sell. I guess that's what they meant earlier when they said the markets were crashing. Oh, Tylenol 666 says, the markets are back up, guys. I took Tylenol when I was younger, and now I'm autistic. That's just how it is. Mwah. But anyway, look at that. We're level 44 on Corn Farmer. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? My learning points are down to 356, though. I'm going to be out of learning points soon. We're going to have to manually level up corn. Sucks, doesn't it? But anyway, the Crucible event. Like, if you go to Zazaren's community, you go to his Twitter, you go to his Discord, his YouTube, his Facebook, whatever else, his Instagram, I don't care, whatever he's got. You go to his social medias. And you ask him, because he won the contest. And he won the life-sized Galatine pairs, right? That was one of the prizes, besides getting a bunch of money and having a bunch of gifted subs to your channel, which is just a way to evade taxes for Twitch. If you go to him and you ask his community, hey, did you ever post pictures of the Galatine pairs? Did you ever make a video about winning the Galatine pair? It's not even worth his time to make a video about it. It's not even worth his time to talk about it or even show it off or take a picture. Those things got thrown into a basement or an attic or a storage or pawned off at a pawn shop, never to be seen again. Right? Now imagine an alternate universe where SBI cared about its content creators, So instead of having Mogdon delete his whole channel out of spite to the community, instead the SBI embraced its content creators, and it made the contest for them, and then Mogdon wins the Galatine pairs. Maybe he wouldn't have deleted his whole freaking channel, right? But I want you guys to just realize that us content creators, right, the ones that have the official little badge avatar icon, over here in the top left of the screen, the ones that get free premium giveaways, and the ones that get skins, and the ones that are allowed to have Twitch drops. I'm not allowed to have Twitch drops, allegedly. I don't know. I've never really tried. But I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed. All of those guys all had to suck massive amounts of toes in a Discord, throw lots of money around, and bend the knee and grovel for a very long time to get the privilege to do that shit, right? And there's a lot of screenshots people have shown me from the creator Discord, back when Shadowbrick was in charge of him being an absolute dick to people and talking down to them, and just a whole bunch of stuff. And I've had people tell me that Shadowbrick was a nice guy, very great dude. I don't know. He wasn't good to me because I wasn't allowed in, and I get mysteriously shadow banned on Lurkit. Lurkit is owned by a company that SBI is basically co-invested into, I'm pretty sure, allegedly, right? But anyway, what I'm getting at is that the game company doesn't give a damn about its creators. And this is why you see people like FanCant getting featured on the launcher. And people that don't... lately, a lot of the people featured on the launcher don't even speak English. I like how that Stillfront has this big, message that they're going to be working on the North American market, but Sandbox Interactive isn't even playing to those rules. They're just, hey, this person speaks Portuguese, put them on the launcher. Oh boy, great. Let's see, I'm going into the island of Timid Miner. Yes, we have a lot of islands to cover, guys. But the game in 2025, it has suffered massively. As a YouTuber, I can see how many people are searching for the game, what they're searching for, what guides they want to see. I can see all that data. And I can also see Google Trends. Anyone can really see Google Trends if you go to google.trends.com or trends.google.com. I forget the website. Google it. You can see, compared to other games, Albion is in the dumps. Albion is like bottom trending. People aren't searching for the game. People aren't interested in the game. It's an old game from 2017. Lately there was the Video Game Awards. Do you know what MMORPG was in the Video Game Awards? Advertised. They didn't win any awards, but they just advertised. Guild Wars 2. That's an old-ass game, but it's doing phenomenally better than Albion. And everyone asks me, what free-to-play MMO should you play? And the answer, even though I don't play it and I've never played it and I'm not going to play it, is Guild Wars 2. Go play that. Right? I don't freaking know. I don't really have an answer. But that's a free-to-play MMO that's every single person who has played it has told me it's great, it's wonderful, that I should play it. But I'll wait for Guild Wars 3. I'll play that, but I'm not going to play Guild Wars 2. I'm just going to wait for the third one to come out, okay? And I feel like a lot of people feel like Albion is the same thing. If they came out with Albion Online 2 and made it a, Unreal Engine third world game, not third world, but third person game, with a rotatable camera and full 3D whatever, I think it would do amazingly well. I think it would hit 1 million players on Steam on launch day. That's how I personally feel. Kind of like how New World did. New World was supposed to be what Albion Online is. But at the last minute, the company got scared of the full loot PvP systems and made it into some monstrosity instead. Alright? But I think if Albion Online made Albion Online 2, and they made it like New World, or in the graphics of New World, that the game would have 1 million players. And if they kept everything that people love about Albion Online, like the PvP, the farming, all the systems, just copy Albion Online, make it a new game, call it Albion Online 2. Let people import their characters over or something, or make a fresh server. I don't know, just something. It'll get 1 million players, easy. You have to give us proximity voice chat though. Look at Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is right now it's the most popular Western game for a reason. Because you can go talk to people. I played it this morning, right? I played Arc Raiders this morning, and I had a conversation with like 3 different people in the course of, 10 minutes. And we talked about food. We talked about the game itself. We even worked together to take out some big-ass robots. Now, imagine in Albion Online if I was running around the open world and there's one of those big crystal beetles or crystal monsters. So instead of being afraid that I'm going to get ganked while I do it and lose all my stuff, I could write up and be like, hey, man, you want to team up and kill this crystal beetle? And then they would, say something in Portuguese and run off. Whatever, right? But, if they were English-speaking, they'd be like, hell yeah, brother, let's get this crystal beetle. And then we would work together, and we would kill the crystal beetle, and then I would draw a party and kill them, and then I would be like, fart on your face, and then take their stuff, and they would scream and rage, which would create a viral clip for some actual big Twitch streamer like the Burt Peanut, who's getting astroturfed to hell right now, or some other person like Asmongold or whatever, to look at the clip and be like, haha, that's a funny clip. And then the game would grow exponentially. But that is not the case because Robin Hinkies, when I talked to him on Twitter back in the day, he was vehemently against voice chat or proximity voice chat because he snidely was like, what game ever did any good with proximity voice chat? And the answer is Arc Raiders. Now, at the time when I asked him, Arc Raiders did not exist, so I could not use that as an answer, right? But anyway, the game needs proximity voice chat because the game needs virality. Like, I know that a lot of people in Albion Discords, they share big claps in their ZVZ. The outside world does not give a shit about ZVZ. The outside world sees a million little life bars and a million nameplates get deleted by a big meteor. And they're like, oh, okay, anyway. And then they go watch someone on Arc Raiders who, blows up, 5 different players while talking crap, and they're all yelling and cursing at him and calling them slurs while he takes all of their loot and then punches them each individually in the face while they crawl around on the ground dying. And that's way more entertaining than a random ZBZ clap, okay? It just is. That's the reality that we live in, unfortunately. And if the game does not adapt in 2026, it will continue to suffer. All right. Let's see. I have 3 more islands to do. The next island is Belly Sniffer. Yes, I have a character named Belly Sniffer, and it's just a joke. It's one of those absurd things you could say around your mates whenever they're oogling girls. Like, oh, she's got a sniffable belly, and you're like, what the hell? Like, my girlfriend just revolted at that sentence, by the way. It's something that you can say for shock value, right? No one in the world sniffs a stomach, okay? And that's what makes the character name extra funny. So anyway, after the Crucible event, we had a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot of development time. Did I get that corn on that hill? I let's see. Yes, I did. It has watering cans. Okay, good. We did it. But after the Crucible event, it takes them way too long to develop the game, right? Other games move at lightning speed. If you look at, say, the development cycle of Fortnite, right? There are multiple different seasons. Like in 2025, Fortnite had a bunch of different seasons. They had a Simpsons collab. They have a bunch of other things going on right now. I think it's like Kill Bill or something. But essentially, they're constantly doing and adding and changing and altering the game and making different things that you can play. And what is Albion Online doing? You know what they did? They copy-pasted Black Zone hideout war sieges into the safe zones and the red zone, but into faction warfare. No one wanted this. Every single faction warfare person that actively logs into the game every day to do their faction warfare stuff did not want this, did not like this. They actually nerfed how many points you can gain. They made it harder than ever to do. And yeah, there's some cool stuff like the little fast travel thing, but they changed faction warfare from roaming around in a blob and capping outposts and clashing with other blobs into being forced, and I'll show you here. Let's see, faction warfare. Into being forced into these zones with this red outline. If you do faction anything outside of these zones, you're wasting your time. And so what you're forced to do is you go to a zone. Let's say we go to here. You got to do these outposts that are on time. Look, in 2 minutes, time to do the outpost. You know what happens? 100 people run into the outpost, they all kill the enemies, and they all loot a chest. And then they go to this outpost and do the same thing. And then they go to the next map and they do the same thing. And you just rotate around all freaking day long. That is boring. It sucks. You get a little bit of loot, some fame tomes, whatever. You get some faction points. You don't get nearly as much as you used to. But back in the day, faction warfare meant something. I know, right? And now it's just a PvE activity that are on timer. It's you're rotating open world camps on a timer. The game already had open world camps that you would do anyway, just voluntarily. But now that it's on a timer, fear of missing out, I'm gonna miss the timer. Oh no, no, no. And then, to make it worse, you have to wait for this timer, the siege timer, which is 1 hour and 40 minutes away. Excuse me, in 1 hour and 40 minutes, I want to be doing something else. I don't want to be logging into the game to do a yellow zone fight. No one does. And you're like, well, you don't have to do it. Well, if you want your faction points, then you have to do it. There's really no other way. But you could just flag up and go gank people. Gank who? Everyone's in a big blob everywhere doing camps. The people don't really solo faction farm in the open world anymore, right? And that's another thing is the depths, all right? The depths came out, and people are like, oh, I like the depths. The depths are cool. Here's the problem with the depths. The majority of the player base are solo, guildless, friendless players. In 2025, Zoomers, not so much Boomers or Gen X, Millennials and Gen Z, and probably Gen A, I don't know. Only like 1 in 6 people have a friend. 1 in 6. That's it. And apparently like 1 in 5 that do have, like, out of the people that do have friends, only 1 in 5 can actually name a best friend, right? And you can blame technology, you can blame society, you can blame how the world is, whatever. The point is that 92% of the player base does not do full loot content, all right? And, if only 1 in 6 people have friends, why do the depths only have a duo and trio mode? Why doesn't the depths have a solo mode? I'm going to tell you right now, if the depths had a solo mode and it gave the same rewards and the same fame as the trio depths, I would do that content on stream when I say on stream, I mean if my internet is good that day. My internet is so bad. A lot of people wonder, Swole Benji, why don't you stream? And the answer is, my internet sucks so bad that I can't. It sucks so bad I can't stream. If I had good internet, I would stream this. I would stream every day. Hey, let's do our farms. Let's go to the depths. Let's do some gathering. I would do that every single day, 7 days a week. I would outstream one. And I wouldn't do it on Twitch because I hate Twitch. I think Twitch has stupid rules. But I would do it here on YouTube, right? And you can see I haven't streamed in possibly a year. I don't know. But what I'm getting at is that if the depths had a solo mode, why doesn't it have a solo mode? They made this, they're like, this is duo with trio only. Why? There's not a design reason. It's a simple, they don't like solo players. The company do not respect solo players. They hate us. They are constantly trying to force us with every update and every patch to congeal, to conform. That's the word I wanted, conform, not congeal. They want us to conform into guilds, into group content. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to speak Portuguese. I don't want to speak Spanish. I can't. If I was multilingual, maybe. You know what, Albion Online? You want me to conform to guild stuff? Send me a tutor. Send me a Spanish tutor, okay? You won't. Of course not. That would be a headline news. That'd be something Asmongold would react to, wouldn't it? Man, this MMORPG sent one of their top English creators a tutor and paid on the dime. That would be way cheaper than all of the money that you gave to Quinn. All of the money you gave to Annie Fuchiza and Zizaran. All right. It's more money than you probably pay Nazori to fart around and get mad at people ganking him in yellow zones, right? I'm never going to forgive that. I'm waiting for an apology from SBI. I'm waiting for some compensation for that one. And yeah, I'm going to be waiting forever because they'll never do it. They'll never budge. They're too stubborn. They're too stubborn to bend the knee to me and apologize for their wrongdoing. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that solo players aren't going to just, oh, new update, time to join a guild. Oh, new update, I guess I have to sniff farts and suck toes into Discord. Not going to do it. Most people aren't going to do it. They can't be bothered. They're not going to. They're just going to go play something else. All right? And so, for a long time, you know, when the depths came out, I have proven that it is the new best fame farm. It's not as good as the blue zone statics we talked about at the start of the video, but it is good. It's the best that you can possibly do. It's 16 million fame per hour when you don't have premium. When you have all of the awakened weapon and the 8.4 satchel and blah, blah, blah. And you may be wondering, well, what about without the satchel and without the awakened? It's still the best fame farm. Those are merely multipliers, okay? The multipliers show you the extent of how good it can become, okay? What about black zone? Well, one, you're not ever going to take an 8.4 anything into the black zone without it getting absolutely yoinked from you. But secondly, even if you did have an awakened and a satchel, it's still not as good as the depths because of mob density. And people don't understand that. They kill a boss monster in the black zone for 650,000 fame. Congratulations. You know how often I find a spiky boss monster in the black zone? If I try my absolute hardest, I can find one of those an hour. Now, if I do, let's see, 650,000 divided by 34,000, I kill 19 mobs in the depths, and that's the same amount of fame. And because I can pull 6 to 9 mobs at a time, that means in 2 to 3 pulls, I have the equivalent of your spiky boss monster that you're finding 1 per hour of, and I'm doing that in 2 to 3 minutes. Do you understand how mob density works? No, you don't. You don't. All right. But anyway, you know, I'm at the point now where, remember I was talking about how Mogdon showed just how bad the payment is? Albion Online has always been bad, and I've never made videos for money. I've always made it as a scrapbook to retain knowledge and power. But every single thing I have done throughout the years of Albion, all of it's been nerfed or altered or changed in a way that negatively affects us. And I wonder, in an alternate universe where I never shared any of the stuff, would it have gotten nerfed as bad as it did in this universe? Probably not. Oh, so many, someone else would have just brought it to light. No, they wouldn't. Because people are inherently greedy in these types of games. They don't share info. They don't share how to make money. They don't share how to level up fast because they see everyone as an enemy, as competition, and they want to keep all the good knowledge for themselves. And I don't. I like to share. I think that if everyone shared, the world would ultimately be a better place, right? But, oh, Soul Benji, if you believe that, then you wouldn't have members-only videos. Listen, without the members-only videos, I would not be able to make any videos. It's kind of a, unless I have a better financial reason, incentive, I can't survive without the channel members. I literally can't pay bills or afford food without them. So I have to appease them because they are keeping me alive. Simple as, really. But speaking of, if you made it this far, there is a members-only video coming soon. That is something I never really wanted to make because it's way too good. I think it's honestly too good for channel members, but because I need channel members to stick around, I'm going to give them one of the greatest ways to just save a ton of time. And that I'm going to be very vague about it because I don't need people spoiling it, right? But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that the game is in an absolute terrible state. The devs don't even play their own game. There was a dev talk not too long ago with a character named Quokey. His name starts with a Q. Very hard to remember, very hard to spell. I don't know his name. But everyone in the comments, everyone in Discord, everyone on forums hated it. They hated everything that these devs were saying, all the changes that they wanted to make personally. Everyone was against all the changes. I even made a whole video about it and how everyone disagreed, right? They are so out of touch with their user base. They are so in the clouds, head in the clouds. They're not playing the same game we're playing, and even though they have the data that shows how many people are actually solo players who aren't in guilds, who don't go to red or black zones, yada yada yada, they refuse to compensate or work around their audience. All right, and one of the best ways to be a leader is to put yourself in the shoes of the people you're leading, right? The devs won't do that. They are not ever, let me do islands real quick. They're never going to put themselves in the player's perspective. They're going to do it from what they want to do, and that's always been the case. This is just a Kickstarter donation Unity game that feels like a frat boys club of sorts, where the devs do what they want to do and what they want to play. They're making the game that they want to play, not what we want to play, or what the majority wants to play. And while that's fair and fine, it hurts the game. It hurts everyone that's playing the game, or content creators. It's hurting the player base. It's hurting the growth of the game. And, hey, Apocalypse, if you're still watching my videos, hey, look, I turned your island into a crop-growing island. Don't worry, I still have the bow. I still have the Swolbenji bow. It's tucked away, but that house is gone. I've turned your fields into cornfields. I hope you're proud of me. But anyway, back to the video. Hey, I forgot to plant seeds here. They're not going to change. They're not going to... If they dedicated 2026 to solo players, and they undid all the damage that they've done. Now, this video is supposed to be just about 2025, but if you rewind the clock back to 2019, early 2020... you could go into tier 5 yellow zone solo dungeons and earn 2 million silver an hour from chest drops. You cannot do that in this game anywhere with any chest drop anymore. You just really can't. And you can be like, oh, well, I did it in the Mist. I did it in the group dungeon. I did it in the Roads of Avalon. And it's like, well, congrats. You got a jackpot. You got lucky. You got a lucky chest that paid you out. But when I say you can make 2 million an hour in the yellow zones in tier 5 solo dungeons, I meant you could do that consistently. Every single hour you would make a minimum 2 million. And back then premium cost 6 million. So this means that you spent 3 hours of your precious time to earn premium, which was fair. Because premium was priced at $5 back then, not 15. Listen, if people want to pay $15 for an MMORPG, they're going to go play World of Warcraft. They're going to go play Final Fantasy XIV. They're going to go now on Steam. They're going to go play Ashes of Creation, which currently, as far as I know, doesn't have a monthly cost yet. You pay like $42 on Steam, and then you have the game until it moves out of alpha. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't done my research. I'm going to be doing that later today, and I'm going to be giving that game a try because it looks really cool. And if it's anything like ArcAge, which is my favorite game, MMORPG ever, not favorite game ever, but favorite MMORPG ever, then yeah, I'll definitely be playing that. Instead of this, I'll be moving on because I guarantee you that Ashes of Creation would treat me nicely. Whereas Albion, I'm not a content creator, an official one. They don't allow me in any of their discords. They hate my guts. They have me permanently muted. What did I ever do to them other than call them a janitor in the chat a few times? What did I ever do to them? I didn't, like, rustle their lunch money at school. I'm not in Germany. I'm not taking their lunch money or anything, right? I didn't, like, peel out and spill mud all over them with a car. I didn't, you know, they're walking down the street on a rainy day. I didn't, like, drive into the ditch with my car and splash them with rainwater. Why are they so mad at me? What is their deal? But hey, if they want to hang out with, you know, Ecord and Coco, who only get 100,000 views versus me, who gets 500,000 currently, that's fine. I am out of learning points. Boo. Bummer. Goodbye, learning points. It was nice knowing you. I'll build you back up one day. But, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, this is just a little... This is my daily chore. I'm doing this every day. I have 16 more days of doing this, right? One of the plans was just talk to you guys every single day, but this video will get like 1,000 views because no one cares anymore. No one that plays this game speaks English anymore. And because long videos don't get auto-translated into Portuguese or Spanish, it's just not going to get watched. Yeah, as far as 2025 goes, what is the company even planning? They haven't shown anything. They haven't talked about anything. The thing is that I was talking about earlier, Albion Online moves so damn slow with their updates. Why did the Faction War update take all year to implement? Why? They copy-pasted it from the Black Zone, change the maps up a little bit. That doesn't take 6 months. If you had actual wages in your offices that were doing work and not eating eucalyptus, having eucalyptus steamed towels when they walk in, and eating chai latte pudding cups, and going into the quiet break room to play ping pong, or whatever they do at the SBI offices, or going out for, 20 different meals, like an adult daycare. Guys, I'm making fun of the day in the life of a tech, normie job videos that you see. Oh, I hate those videos so much. That's like my rage bait. That's my kryptonite, is those damn videos. But anyway, I'm pretty sure SBI, that's how they work. They maybe do 15 minutes of work a day, and that's why it takes them 6 damn months to develop something that no one wanted. And with that said, we are now officially done farming, and that wraps up the video of Albion's worst year in 2025. This is the worst year, the player count, and you may be thinking, but Swole Benji, the player counts aren't down. Yes, they are. Look at, okay, right now, 123 people in Bridgewatch, right? If I go open a video, if I go open a video from 2020 and I go into Bridgewatch in the downtime hour, this is prime time. If I go during the downtime hours, that thing would be maxed out, 500 players plus. It couldn't even count them all. All right, it's bad. The game is down bad. The game is suffering. The game. And the thing is like, normally you'd be like, oh, well, the game will make a rebound. The game will fix itself. The devs, they'll patch it. They'll fix it. It's all just around the corner. You got to be hopeful. Well, this whole year showed that every single thing that they did this year was a net negative. Every single patch, every single update, every single content release, all bad for the solo, guildless, friendless player. They even wasted hundreds of thousands of alleged dollars on the Crucible, which did nothing for the game. What is 2026? How is it going to change in 2026? It's only going to get even more worse. Even more worse. And if it doesn't, you can call me out. Feel free to call me out on it. And, at this point, too, like, once another game studio, like, let's say Ashes of Creation shows me some kindness. Let's say another studio, a game similar to Albion Online, reaches out their hand from the heavens, with the chorus playing and the angels singing, and they're like, Swole Benji, come be an official content creator for our game. I'm dumping this game. And the only thing that would make me come back is if Sandbox Interactive reached out their hand, pulled my ass out of the storming rain, slapped that content creator badge on me. I'll sign the NDAs. I'll sign the legal mumbo jumbo. And then I can finally do that damn collab with eCourt that he asked me to do like 4 years ago or whatever, even though he's mad at me because I farted into a microphone once. Like, whoop-de-doo, right? Like, you can't even smell farts over the internet. It's funny. It's a fart noise into a microphone. Why are you mad, bro? Why are you mad, bro? Anyway, that's the video, and I will see you guys later. Let me know what you think. You have to. You have to let me know what you think. And if you don't leave a comment, you're going to get a tummy ache in 2 days, and no one's going to sniff that tummy.